Yeah, I saw it. We've been having trouble in my area. We'll find out if we go through tonight. Um, hey, Scott, we are live. So,
Awesome. Awesome.
and you're back from Arkansas, a place I know kind of well.
It's funny you say that. Yes, I'm back from Arkansas. I
What part?
went
What part?
northwest.
North and west. Okay. Boy,
Yeah.
that's you go all the way. Okay, yeah, it's pretty close by then. Okay,
Yeah. We were on the road for
it's
three
like
or
you're
four
going to
hours.
visit Sam Walton, basically.
Oh
Back.
yeah, we were in Walmart's backyard.
Yep.
Uh I had trouble finding the podcast. Oh well. What did you title this one?
I think I called it Arkansas Stories. Yeah, I see it up in the upper left-hand corner there.
Uh,
Can't find it, huh?
oh, you know what? I'm on my channel.
Oh well,
Hang on just a
that's
second.
that comes from being an egotist narcissist, I guess.
Yes, I am all of the above. So we went to Arkansas. It was my in-laws lived there. They retired there,
Uh huh.
and they live outside of Bella Vista, or they live in Bella Vista, which is past Rogers and Bentonville,
Uh huh.
and they've lived there since my father-in-law retired, and they like it there. I'm not. I would go so far as to say I'm not a fan of Arkansas. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It just depends on how much you like ticks and and
Well,
not having the ability to get a job that's anything you'd ever want to have as a creative. I don't know.
well, yeah. I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't looking for a job, so I can't really address whether
Yeah.
that's accurate or your fiction, Ellis. But
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I we went there, and I told Michelle, I go, there's definitely a type of person that you see in Arkansas, and I
Hmm.
said it's a guy that's got his hair cut. Do you remember the haircuts, the Caesars that were popular in the '90s?
No,
Oh, it was kind of brushed down and over.
Okay.
Saw a bunch of guys like that, and they were usually wearing like tight shirts. These are kind of guys that look like they had kind of what I would think of as like coach type bodies.
Uh huh.
They're kind of overweight, and wore like oh, I don't know, but anyway, I saw
Well,
a lot of.
culture does seep in and take hold of like in any place. It's like you just can't help yourself.
Yeah.
Your coloration being affected by what's around you.
Yep.
You know.
But I mean, we went, we had a good time. We saw, Michelle's parents. That was kind of why we went.
Hmm.
And her mother was celebrating her 80th birthday, so we went to
Hmm.
that. And we drove down on the 4th, and we drove back on the 5th because we had to get our dog. So it was a pretty quick trip. On the way down, we went through Tulsa
Uh
and
huh.
stopped at Gardner's Books in Tulsa. I don't know if you've ever been there.
No. What is that feature? What is that?
Well, it's just a big bookstore in Tulsa. They got a big comic section. I
Is
bought,
it still thriving?
yeah, yo, it's a
Okay.
book,
Cool.
it's a bookstore, not a I mean, it's got comics, but it's mostly books.
Hmm.
And I bought the novelization of because I've been kind of reading. I read the Raiders of the Lost Ark novelization for fairly cheap. I picked up the novelization of Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Huh. I didn't know they bothered with doing
No,
any of that.
no, I didn't either, but I could not resist it because
Well,
we're in the Comic-Con season,
yes. I guess.
and
I
I
guess.
remember when that was a big deal at the Comic-Con,
Oh
man.
yeah. Is that one where you were in San Diego for it?
Yes, yes, and I remember riding the bus to the Comic-Con and seeing these huge robots, like inflatable robots, in the park across from the Comic-Con.
I should have a memory of that myself because your time visiting is definitely my sweet spot for having gone to all of them.
Did you go in like 2000? It was either 2004 or 2003.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, now that may have been my tough era for getting there, but I know that I was there. Yeah, yeah, 2003, sure. I'm sure of it.
When did you have a table there?
1995.
Okay, so it was a lot earlier than that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I picked that up. We went. We always stop. There's a casino in Siloam Springs that we stop at and eat because because they have buffet. The casinos usually have pretty good buffets.
You're going for a Vegas effect right here.
Yes, yes, right
Mhm.
there, and it's actually I think it's right inside Arkansas, but I could
Uh-huh.
be. Anyway, so we did
So,
that.
so they've got the same tribe arrangement in Arkansas that we
I
have
believe
here.
I believe so. And then we went to my in-laws, kind of hung out with them. Uh, and then on the way back, we stopped at a fish place in Tulsa. We stopped in Tulsa, both coming and going. We tried to go there on the 4th, but they were closed. But it was called White River Fish Market. Really good. It's called a fish market, but they have a restaurant,
Uh-huh.
and it was probably some of the
What did
best.
you have? What'd you have?
I had a platter that had, of all things, catfish. It was
Mm-hmm.
fried.
Catfish.
Had catfish, which you can get that in Oklahoma pretty easy.
Did it have pepper all over it or what? Was it
Uh,
blackened?
no. It was fried.
Okay.
Fried catfish. It was a platter. It had fried catfish, hush puppies, uh, fried shrimp, 3 or 4 fried shrimp, and a stuffed crab.
Hmm.
And it was really good. I was
Oh, I bet.
Anyway, so now I'm trying to starve myself because I got to go to the doctor tomorrow.
Oh.
So yeah, and it's like have you been losing weight? I told you to lose weight kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm good. I think I'm good.
Well, that weight loss, I'm in maintenance mode, but I can't help myself every now and then. I just have to have an ice cream cone and stuff like that, and I know that it has absolutely no nutritional value. It actually
Yeah,
damages me, and okay, you're doing it anyway. Okay, go ahead.
yeah. Like a lot of things that are bad
Yeah,
for us, we like
yeah,
we like the bad stuff.
yeah.
You know. Anyway, I did that. I my So we've been talking about my work with this billionaire guy.
Yeah, update me on that. I haven't heard a
Holy
word from
cow.
you in a
Holy
week on it.
cow. We did so after I talked to you, we did was I working on the Walmart storyboards?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was working on the Walmart storyboards and I left for Arkansas thinking that they were done and these guys are going to do them and I didn't have anything else to do. Well, while we were in Arkansas, I got the script from the guy. And I
Hmm.
was like, and I read it. I told Michelle to go, there's nothing for my storyboards in these scripts. I
Huh.
said, I don't know what happened. So we got home and he reached out to me. He's like, hey, when are you going to be back? And I go, well, we'll be back on Friday. And he goes, I said, do you want to get together? He goes, yeah, come by on Saturday. So I came by Saturday and we took the script and what we did, I don't think he used any AI in this video. Actually, I came by Sunday. He used footage because a lot of it was footage. It was Walmart, and so what he had done is the father, Dave, who's the guy that's kind of in charge of Technotainment Orchestra Oklahoma, he had gone to the Walmart. He was one of like 5 people from Oklahoma that got to attend the Walmart stockholder meeting. And
Uh-huh.
and so Niall wanted him to do a video about it. Well, we had come up with this plot and this story, but then so I went over there and he goes, I've got this script, and he had it kind of drawn out, but he goes, I don't know what to do with it. He goes, I'm lost. And so we went through his clips and we talked about what he had footage wise. And dude, he had it. He didn't have anything done, and they did it. He did it. He was off work on Monday, and Tuesday morning I got up and it was in my inbox, and it was phenomenal. And I told Michelle, I don't understand, because to my mind they had everything. You know, it was their footage. They weren't inventing anything, but he just couldn't get it. You know, and I go, okay, this is why I'm part of this group. This is what I'm contributing, because he just can't he can get all the pieces, but he can't see how they fit together. And I look at it and I go, it's obvious, you know, this, like, he had footage of him riding. They sent him up on a bus. They took a big bus, chartered bus. And I was like, well, we got this bus footage, and part of the where he's talking, he's like, as I reflected about my week, and I go, dude, that's what you show, because he's going home and show the footage of Arkansas where he's leaving. He's like, oh man, that's brilliant. and I mean, to me, it's like very simple. I mean, to me, it's like, dude, you got the.
Did you use a flashback structure or what?
No. It's just it was just a documentary kind of thing, but he just narrated. And what they did is they went to Walmart at like 6 a.m, or maybe earlier. He said 6, but I think it was actually earlier, when nobody was there. And they stood out front, and there's a big sign, and he stood under the sign and did all the narration, and it was perfect. And they had a voiceover, and I asked him, well, what are you going to do for the voiceover? And he goes, oh, well, I'm going to use AI for that. And I said, well, you're not going to use AI for the narration. He goes, no, my dad's going to do that. And I go, that'll be perfect, because his dad has a completely different way of talking, you know. And it came out so good, and Niall loved it. And so I don't know what he's going to do with it, but
well, cool. I mean, as long as that guy's loving it, you're
still in.
You're still in, yeah.
My brother, I was talking to my brother, and he said, dude, you need to tell him, if I don't get paid, I'm not going to. And I said, look, this is like when you go to the casino.
Yep.
You don't know if you're going to get paid, but you keep putting money down on red. You know, You keep rolling the dice. I said, dude, I'm just rolling the dice. I said, no, oh, I'm sorry. No, it was my father-in-law, and I didn't use the. Well, my brother and my father-in-law was like, well, I hope they're paying you. And I go, Bill, I haven't done anything that I really think I need to demand a lot of money for yet. I said, if I stick with it and it pays off, the money will pay off. You know.
Yeah. No. Being on the ground floor of something is it's got its costs to a guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Well.
So, yeah. You're doing it right.
I think so. Now, will I get burned? I might.
Yeah, you might.
But, you know, there are people investing real money.
It would be almost like, at that point, you'll be the one saying, I should have seen it coming. But,
yeah.
So what? You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's like, that's the way a lot of things work out. But you gotta hope against hope that
dude, it
won't happen.
Sometimes you got to roll the dice, and so far I'm rolling the dice, man. I mean, and I think, and the guy loves me. I mean, I was telling Michelle, he sent me a text, me and a couple other people a text about, it was a video from a lawyer that he uses. It's the lawyer that.
I told you that was when things would go south. How was this lawyer contact?
Well, no. Listen to so he sent me this lawyer, and I was like, why is he sending me this? And I realized what he was sending me is this guy was a friend of his, and this is the guy that successfully sued for Anna Nicole Smith and got her all that money from her ex's family, that billionaire she married.
Oh, yeah.
So he sent a link to their website, and then he sent a name on who it was. I thought, does he want me to reach out? I don't know what this is. Then he sent the video, and the video was the lawyer talking about trees and how important it was for him to get into nature and so the Dave, the kind of hippie guy, he's like, oh yeah, my motto's always been be a tree, and then he sent peace sign and this other stuff. And so I didn't want to comment until I watched the video, and then I watched the video, and so I replied, and I said over the last year or so, my wife and I have spent a lot of money and time fixing up our backyard and making it, a nice place to stay. I said one of my favorite things to do is in the evening sit on the back porch and watch fireflies, or leave my phone inside, sit on the porch and watch fireflies.
Sure.
And he said he said there's the only response to anybody that he gave. He said, this guy's, I'm paraphrasing because he has a weird way of talking, but he said this guy's been my lawyer for years, and he's kind of been, I've followed him and he's guided me, and anybody that sits and watches fireflies is going to get it, and vice versa. And I'm going, I don't know what I said. And this guy's constantly going, oh, Scott gets it. I'm going, I don't know if I get it. But,
yeah, that's the deal. I've had maddening things like that before. It's like, I better not speak up that I don't get it any better than I did when I started with this. But if you think I do. If
you think I do, I'm gold.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's still kicking, Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, dude, I'll tell you this. He's got an artist. I think I told you about the artist that they wanted me to meet, that I was kind of like, I don't want to meet an artist.
Yeah, who needs them?
Yeah, who needs them? They're worthless.
Yeah.
No. This guy, which I still don't know if I want to meet him, but this guy, he became famous for doing paintings at Walmart, and they kicked him out of the Walmart. And there was an article about him in Cosmopolitan. And somebody at Cosmopolitan likes him because they hired him to do these paintings of celebrities. And he did this painting of Taylor Swift like 5 years ago. Well, Niall has that, and he wants Taylor Swift to do something. And he's been talking with her people, and he's going to meet with her and give her that painting. It's like, and it's supposedly huge. But it's like, what? I mean, dude, just weird stuff like that. It's like, I don't know. I mean...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like that's his ability at his expanded circle.
Yeah,
you can actually have something go on with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Who, I guess her dance card is about as full as it could possibly be. I can't believe how much Taylor Swift I have to wade through as a guy with absolutely
zero interest.
I've fed the algorithm zero interest in Taylor Swift, and yet I'm sure I'm like everybody else. There's no way around getting 10 tons of information about
it. Now that we've talked about it on your YouTube, you'll get way more.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Well, that's true. Anytime you see something where you think, you know what, they're reading my mind. Look at this. How they know I would be needing pet treats. Well, that receipt which you used your ATM on.
Ellis,
they got what?
Your phone listens to you.
Oh yeah, everything listens to you.
Oh yeah,
that data is fed and compiled, and now with AI, of course, they actually do read minds. They will feed you something where someday it'll come to pass. All of a sudden, about 1 in 3 emails you get will sell you.
Yeah.
The sales barrier will be solved. They'll just go ahead and say, he can't resist this, and send it through.
This is exactly what he needs.
Yep.
Anyway, so that thing is still going. So the Walmart video, he liked that, and I liked it. I thought it was really good, and I did not get a call scolding me about. I told you the last one. He was like, You
felt like you kind of like had to do some sort of stand up or something like that, and you weren't sure if that was a good idea or not.
Yep, and anyway, but so far so good. I mean, I'm still, but again, I don't know what our next project's going to be, or if there's going to be a next project. But I mean, that's fine. As you can see, I'm drawing chapter 5 of the Black Cricket.
Excellent. You want me to solo that?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I'm drawing a background and trying not to overwhelm the foreground.
All I've been doing is goofing with Procreate, but really digging it. any comic book project I take on in the future, and including I'm also doing the next Free Cat and other odd tales. Doing a sequel to that, I'm going to do another 31 flash fiction pieces
Nice.
and illustrate it. Since I mean, it's just I kind of like the way that project came out. It's probably the most natural project for me to slide into, and plus it'll be very challenging to write all those short stories. It'll be a good
Yeah.
drill for a guy that wants to be a writer, to be drilling down on short stories. And the algorithm, talking about it, has figured out I like the idea of flash fiction, and I've found a couple of very good channels that talk about flash fiction quite a bit, and it's really interesting. One guy came up with the exact idea I had, that instead of outlining, what you do is you just launch yourself into writing about 40 pieces of flash fiction, and forget about the idea of outlining. Just sit down and start chewing on that morsel of an idea per incident in a story that might be a longer story, and then later on see how that binds together and see if you can make a longer work from that. And I thought that was interesting, that like-mindedness existed out there, that someone thought flash fiction could lead to
Real fiction.
yeah,
A longer,
longer fiction.
longer
Yeah,
fiction. Yeah. Yep, that makes sense. I mean, I can see that. That's
Well, because that is the big the two camps. It's like, oh, I can't go anywhere without an outline. Which when you think about an outline, is like sitting down and exhaustively making sure you know everywhere you're going, and it doesn't have to be like that.
Nope.
And you could just have a little heading that tells you where you're at, and go from there.
I would bet there are a lot of big time writers, certainly in the days before word processors, that just sat down and typed.
Oh yeah, just started in. Well, Hemingway did that. He crumpled things up. Bukowski did that. He would just be ripping sheets out of the typewriter and crumble them up. That's the way you do it. Just start gnawing away at it.
Yeah, I think,
almost everybody is a little bit of a pantser, because it always amounts to that at some point. You have to say, okay, now I'm writing.
Yeah, exactly.
Tap, tap.
I think computers have made people like crazy about writing. It's like, well, I'll do an outline, I'll do this, I'll do that. It's like, well, you need that.
People are using AI, Chat GPT to.
Oh my gosh!
To give them a
little bump.
Yep.
Hey, that's okay.
Help.
Stephen King used Coke. They can use Chat GPT.
That's right. It's so funny to think about his Coke period being almost everybody's favorite period of his writing, of the eras of his writing. So, okay, so the Coke led to all this output, but you don't even remember half of it. Okay.
I don't remember that. I don't remember writing that story.
Yeah,
it was my favorite.
I think it was Cujo that he famously just
was it Cujo?
Has no memory of writing it. Write about a rabid dog.
Well, yeah.
The other guy that it's funny, because I've got my opinion about James Patterson pretty well formed at this point. After I've listened to a book on his writing story. It's basically just not a biography, and he's an interesting person, and then I listened to a story of his first one that really kicked off his career, called Along Came a Spider, which is an Alex Cross story. The first one, I think he always gets Cross in the title in all the new ones, but he's the guy that's really big on outlines, so big on them, he feels like he can hand the project off to his team writer,
Yep.
and you know, and still put his name on the book. So
Crazy.
yeah, so,
Hey, you know what though? If you can do it.
well, he is doing it, and it's funny. I wonder. I'm watching The Boys, and you know
Oh
the
gosh.
the guy that had his girlfriend
Yeah, vaporized.
vaporized by the Flash.
Yeah.
He his father had a stroke. The guy that's in Shaun of the Dead, you know, is his father, and so he's laying there in the bed, and he's got voicemails from him, and he's wanting to talk about the newest Alex Cross book, and they're obviously making fun of.
James Patterson.
James Patterson, yeah, because they've got, you know, like 500 Alex Cross books apparently that they're able to discuss if he'll just, you know, if he's got any interest in it. And I thought that's weird because the writing does seem like it's taken a. Oh, that's another thing I'm watching right now that I'll probably be binge watching eventually. And you don't get Netflix, but I don't know, maybe you've been exposed to it. Peaky Blinders. Have you heard anything about this?
I've heard that term, but I have no idea what it is.
Oh, it's turn of the century, I think a little bit later than Gangs of New York kind of era. British gangsters.
Oh, okay.
And it's pretty good stuff. It features that guy that played Oppenheimer. I don't know his name.
Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched that, by the way.
Oh well, it's sitting there waiting for you if you,
Yeah,
if you feel like it.
It's on. Well, if I need 3 hours. I've been real busy
That's the deal. I'm so in love lately with movies that I see that are only 90 minutes long. It's like a perfect movie.
Yeah.
I watched one the other day, Dead Calm. Have you ever seen Dead Calm?
Oh no, but I saw your email about it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I've seen it. It's got Nicole Kidman in it.
Yes, when she's about 19. She's very cute, and it's got Sam Neill from Jurassic Park in it. You know, he said he was almost 40, so he's exactly double her age. You know, so
oh jeez,
that sort of romantic thing. You know, you got to watch it. You know, I mean that chemistry, if it doesn't happen, all that little stuff shows up on film. You know.
Yep.
And but they did a good job of looking like they were semi-madly in love. Of course, a big part of the more story structure is they get separated very early.
Oh yeah.
But Billy Zane is good too. He's must be one of his first roles too.
They're like on the ocean and like pirates grab their boat, don't they, or something like that?
No. It's a very small cast, and it's also a Kennedy Miller production. It's George Miller is actually an assistant director on it.
Oh, wow.
And he let somebody else direct it though, and it's a really cool flick. Yeah, get the library's copy of it sometime. That's what I did.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
I will have
You'll dig it because it's like I say, it's a tight little story. It's a survival tale, and from it's got its conflicts all worked out. You know, I've said a couple of times, it's got to have somebody versus something. Your eyes glaze over if you're not having a fight.
Yep, there needs to be a conflict on every page.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the theory at least. It's a good theory.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All these rules, break them. Feel free.
Yep.
But sometimes it's like, why is this not working? Oh, I'm breaking the rule.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Yeah.
So my wife, not trying to change the subject. My wife has to take her car in. There's a recall on her car. They have to replace the pins on the crank rods. I'm like, what? They got to take the engine apart, man. I'm like,
oh man.
Oh yeah, I'm dreading this.
I swear, with the right tools though and the right mechanics, all that stuff becomes easy if they know what the heck they're doing, and like I say, the right tools. Zip.
Well, the Acura dealer better know They better know what they're doing.
Yep.
But I'm just like, oh gosh,
Yeah, you don't need
this is
that in terms of like inconvenience, and plus you're trusting that something goes back together right. That's one of
yep.
your more typical complaints. It's like, hey, I got this back and it
That,
doesn't act like it used to. Is all I can say.
yep. We'll see. I feel like it's going to be like having heart surgery, though.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I will say this: she had a car one time, and it had about the same amount of miles as the Nissan, and the motor started making a noise at the bottom end, and they put a new motor in it, and that new motor ran like a top, man. The mileage jumped up. It was better, had more power.
Huh, that's
I was
weird.
like, wow, this is
A transplant. Yeah,
yes, it
that's
got a
nice.
heart transplant. Yeah, definitely.
I was thinking about that. People, one of the little ideas I've written down for my 31 prompts to myself. I'm doing that first. I want to get 31 ideas, and actually, I'm going for like 62. It's like, okay, I hit 31. Now I'm going to start over again because some of these are pretty damn lame.
Yeah.
And so I start over again and get up to 31 again. But one of them is about like an actress that has nipped and tucked her way to being a grotesque. And she decides now is the time for total replacement. Basically all on the face. And so, I don't know. I'll dig into that idea and see how short and quick and see if I can make it eerie or funny or do something with it.
Supposedly that girl on The Boys did something like that. I don't know how.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, yeah. Her face is different now. She shouldn't have touched it. That's all you can
Nope.
say.
Nope. I mean, I don't know how old she is, 20, 25. I mean,
Yeah, it was silly.
she's
Yeah, yeah.
definitely early for,
Yeah, to start stretching and moving stuff around. But that's the deal. That's the weakness of all these people. They are. We think they're perfect, but they don't think they're perfect.
no, no.
And that's a. It's
They
a
probably get told a lot they're not perfect too.
I don't know about that.
Well, I bet they have their sycophants, I'm sure, but I bet producers and directors are
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
pretty
Casting
quick,
directors early on will tell you everything's
pretty
wrong with
quick,
you.
pretty
Yeah.
quick to tell them where every flaw and
Yeah, yeah, you're right. That may be where they get these complexes. Having to go these casting calls and it's like, well, they found me irresistible. I must become
yeah,
or they found me resistible.
yeah.
I was watching a whole lot of before we started. Biden's thing. I turned it off finally.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, he's making an attempt to answer questions. But like I say, he just goes right into stump speeches.
yeah.
It'll be interesting. Right after this, we'll have to check and see what the
What the score is,
score is.
so
What
to speak.
Yep. See what they
The
thought of it.
I saw before you emailed me with the link. I saw that he was talking to NATO today,
Yeah.
and he was going to introduce Zelensky. And I'd like to introduce the president of Ukraine, President Putin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a whole beat, and he was like, I mean, you
Yeah.
could tell he knew. Well, I saw a distance, but he seemed to know he said something wrong, but it took him a minute to. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah. I
he's
don't.
well,
He's basically
he's ruined our.
he's almost feeding on karma at this point.
Well, that's true. He is. I've told people I feel like of all of our recent presidents, he's probably one. But I didn't like him when he was vice president.
No, I've never been able to stand
And
the
this whole thing about oh, I got this Corvette and I've got this and
Yeah.
I'm wearing my aviator sunglasses. He tries
He's,
too hard.
he's just been a package, that
Yep.
he's figured out how to get there, and people said, "Hey Joe, you're the only guy I know that's not really a person of He's more of a package, and that's what we want this year.
Yep.
And plus, you're going to have to look the other way when we cheat for you. So.
Yeah. He was willing to.
Oh yeah.
He was willing to, for sure.
Say, man. Yeah, I can't wait. They're going to have quite a few. I just watched long enough to see that they were going to have quite a few instances of him not doing all that well.
Well, he's like, don't invite Peter Ducey to this.
Yeah,
whatever you do.
Well, he had the names already filled out. So
sure.
So I don't know.
Well, that's
he's
what
on the list.
That's what that's what they've said, is that at all these press conferences. Of course, now it comes out, all these press conferences, that he knew all the questions ahead of time.
Oh yeah,
supposedly.
Totally, all this stage managed stuff, that's always bugged me a lot, that people hide that kind of stuff. It's like, just go ahead, and that's part of your job. The thing, I don't know if you've ever seen that Tucker Carlson thing where he goes on and talks about, for one thing, RFK Jr. going on at length about he thinks the CIA killed his father, and is quite clear about what he thinks about it and what he thinks the results of what he's heard from people. And it's also very quite clear that the CIA has already had a coup. They took Nixon out completely. Yeah. And, that this Mark Felt and Woodward was...
Wait, who's Mark Felt?
Mark Felt was the assistant head of the CIA. He was Deep Throat.
Oh, okay.
He was the only reason that Bob Woodward had anything, and it was just a direct feed, and it was just all set up. Woodward had no experience as a journalist. Before that, he was just a naval intelligence officer, and he just was assigned to the... it was just a real recent assignment to the Washington Post, or wherever it was. I forget.
Yeah.
I think it was the Post.
Yeah.
And it was obviously just all created to take Nixon down, apparently because he had plans for reducing some of what the CIA was up to.
Oh yeah, they don't like that.
He put a target on his back, and I said, okay, let's show him what's what. And so I've lived through one coup already. I've seen this voting thing, and no telling what we're going to see on this next election. It's scary to think about.
Yeah.
If you've got any affection for the idea of Trump at all, they may just decide to go ahead and axe him.
They may.
Yeah.
I mean,
they may Seth Rich him.
Yeah.
Because I'm absolutely sure Seth Rich was also
Wait.
Seth Rich was the guy that shared Hillary's emails.
Oh, okay. One of the Clinton bodies.
Yes, yeah, one of the Clinton bodies, you could say, yeah, but her alliances there just ensured that there was payback for that thing of putting out those emails. Boy, you talk about one that's going to get, if there was any chance at all this thing ever had for being monetized, we're way beyond that now. All the clatter I've been doing.
All the political stuff, man.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's on your YouTube, not mine.
How's your YouTube doing? I've actually had some good numbers lately on just posting artwork. That's kind of interesting.
I'm up to 918 followers.
Hey, you're
I gotta get
by about 400, I think.
I gotta get my viewing time up. That's where I'm lagging behind now. But
yeah, you gotta feed these things. Yeah.
My problem is, I don't have time to record.
Yeah.
I need to record this weekend. I mean, I could, if I were smart, I would be recording, just drawing these pages.
Sure. It's like you wanted me to give you some of these things, and I keep forgetting to give you downloads of this. But,
oh yeah.
That stuff is just Well, I wouldn't mind it though. I mean, obviously it would help me to give you the feed of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Send me the feed if you think about it for this one,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
and I'll load it.
But of course, I've noticed lately I haven't been watching just a whole ton of Doug's stuff, but he's taken it to a new level now. He's got camera angles.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's really thinking editing now and all that. And his product has become much more slick. And I'm sure he's just making crazy numbers right now and crazy money. That's the deal. You get a big enough crowd, and you get eyes on it. They pay you.
Yeah.
You know, you know what I've got to do? As a matter of fact, I may do it right after we're done. I'm gonna leave a message for the dentist for a tooth extraction.
Oh,
I'm having one that's just decided to say, "Hey,
I'm tired of this. Let me out of here."
Let me out of here. So get rid of that, and it will probably be a discussion when we take this one out of taking the other 5 I've got on the top just out, so I can have just false teeth on top. Probably
Oh yeah.
it'll make me look better, but I'm not looking forward to it. I don't like that idea of having glued on teeth and all that. Fact of life.
It's funny you say that. When I got my first crown, it really bothered me.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, I don't have a tooth there now.
Oh yeah, crowns have never bothered me though, in terms of like that mental process. It's just a tooth. It's a glued on tooth.
Well, and mine are not even. They didn't even extract the tooth. They just kind of ground it down a little bit.
Down, yeah.
Put a sleeve on top of it. So
Sure.
it's like, it's not that big a deal.
Oh, I think that's the concept. Is always on crowns. It's like there's tooth underneath it.
Boy, my dad got one, and he lost his crown one time, and he was showing it to me, and holy cow, there was nothing. His tooth was like a toothpick under there. It was,
Yeah.
but mine's barely noticeable, except it's sharp.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be roughed up. It's got to be a good.
Yeah, got to be a
sticky
good surface. Yep.
Boy, that's something. As a writer, try to describe that smell when they're
No,
when they're burring away on a tooth. It's not a good smell.
no. Have I talked to you about the fire we had in my neighborhood?
Yes, you took some, or you linked to some footage. It's
Oh,
always
okay.
worrisome when some nut decides to
Shoot off fireworks.
burn down contiguous things.
Dude, yeah, 2 houses
Yeah.
caught fire. 2 duplexes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
I hate the
fireworks.
idea of some nutso, because that is a way to lash out, is to set things on fire.
Well, I don't think
typical.
I don't think it was arson. I think it was a firework.
Okay.
I think the current theory is that somebody threw a firework in the trash can between the 2 houses,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't completely out.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw some kids. They were interviewing for their reactions, and I wondered to myself, are you the culprit? It's like
Oh,
they're
yeah.
having a good time coming forward and having the news interview them, and yeah. Truth is, I said it.
Yeah, there's duplexes, so most of them are rented.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, you talk about your neighborhood. Mine has its own pockets of bad.
Yeah. Yeah, those kids that were. It seemed like the moment I put them on YouTube, just because all of a sudden I decided they're cute instead of worrisome, and that ding dong ditch thing. Just the moment I decided they were.
I guess I didn't see that. Did you get footage of some kids ringing your doorbell?
Yeah, I put it on YouTube, and I thought to myself that these little kids are cute, And the moment I decided that, they quit doing it. I don't know.
No.
It's just like I don't go outside now and check on them or anything like that.
Were they
And then
doing
they
it?
quit it.
Were they doing it every night or?
Well, it was common enough for a while. Not every night though.
Well, we had. I think I told you about that girl that rang our doorbell one night at like 3 in the morning.
No,
Oh,
that's
oh,
very annoying.
dude, we were in bed and I heard a noise and I woke up and Michelle goes, somebody rang the doorbell, and I go, you're kidding. And I look, it's 3 o'clock, so I hop up and I run downstairs and I don't turn the lights on. I kind of cut through the kitchen and I come across through the library where it was dark,
Mm-hmm.
and I look out the window through the blinds, hoping they can't see me. And I look, and I don't look at their face. I kind of look, and it's like, yeah, it was a skinny white girl wearing like cutoff shorts and a tube top and some kind of vest over it.
Meth.
Well, and so I went into the kitchen to get my phone, and about that time I heard her get in her car and start her car and take off. But because my phone, I have a Ring camera, and I'll send you the pictures after the thing. She had a huge tattoo across her stomach that kind of arced over her belly button that said "alone." It's like, and she kind of had that look of, but apparently she just
A desolate soul, yes.
she thought she was at the right house, and she rang the bell, and after I didn't answer immediately, I was not that long getting downstairs, but she just nobody answered immediately, so she got in the car, took off, and I was a little paranoid that she might come back and go in the backyard, or maybe, because when somebody rings your doorbell, you wonder if they're casing the joint,
Yeah.
and
that is part of it. I mean, that can be.
people,
they're looking for some place to say, "I'd like to live there." It's like that character in Unbreakable. It's like he just walked around the neighborhoods until he walked up to that one guy and says, "I like your house." And, that psycho that took. Have you ever seen Unbreakable with
I've seen
Bruce
it,
Willis?
I've seen it, but I don't remember this scene.
Well, he's just that crazy psycho that Willis has to fight hand to hand at the end of it. That's how he acquired his house. He
went up
and walks up and says, "I like your house," to a guy that watering the lawn or whatever. And so he doesn't know what to make of this guy. And all of a sudden he's dead, and his daughter and wife are being tortured upstairs, tied up to the radiator.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I forgot how the guy got the house though.
Yeah. He was just a big hulk of a guy. It's like, I can't win a fight against this guy.
Yeah.
But Bruce Willis was a superhero and
Yep.
went toe to toe with him. Was doing just great until he fell into the pool. That's interesting.
Obviously, I need to watch that movie again.
Yeah. It's one of the
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night's more interesting movies, I think.
Yeah.
It's better on review rewatch.
I think I've only seen that once.
Yeah.
It came in that weird time where, if I remember right, it came in that weird time where there were a few superhero movies, but not very many.
Yeah. It was like at that point you could say, "Now, is this one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen?" Maybe so.
Yeah, there were probably a lot of people that thought it was at the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Heroes. Heroes kind of fell into that era too.
Yeah, that was a weird little era. That's one of the examples of one of those things that weakens as it goes. It's like, man, it starts so strong, and then it's like,
that first season's great.
Yeah.
And they did not know how to go with it.
Well, that's the deal. You don't realize that, but it's like that thing you encountered with these creative types. That's all happening real time in writing rooms and all that. None of this is so well thought out that they've got it lined out for the next year. They are still creating all that stuff,
Yeah.
and they may get everybody sign off on something, but it was a bad idea, as it turns out,
Yeah. Yeah.
to take it in this direction or that direction.
I think about what they say about comic books. They say, like if you're breaking into comic books and you got your portfolio, you can work on your portfolio your entire life. But once you get into comics, you got a month to draw a comic.
Yeah. It's got to look like what you can do
Yeah.
with your focus and your energy and your talent.
Yep.
Speaking of that, I do want to do a couple more comics, even though. Do you realize I have forensically examined DL and Odious as the short story it started from. If that is considered the starting point, that goes back 4 years. Can you
Oh
imagine
my
saying
gosh.
saying that you've been working on something for 4 years? You better have something to show for it at that point. And it's like I've got this little 144 page little comic
Well,
book that is at the
Heaven's Rejects was about that long by the time it was done. Now my
yeah.
part wasn't 4 years, I don't think. But I mean, I drew the first issue, and then I inked it, and then I lettered it, and then that was done.
Yeah,
And then
it
he
just
wrote the second one. Every issue got wrote. He was not working ahead necessarily,
uh
and it was taking me about 3 months to do every issue, or if not longer, because I was doing everything, and
yeah.
I'm not a fast inker.
That,
Well,
that, that's the sort of thing that you need to do. You need to get those files from that guy and put out your own.
I've got them.
Oh, you do. Just go ahead and put out your own print on demand on that. They aren't going to come after you. Put your own print on demand version of that, and if you make uh, $500 from it, send them $10. I don't know.
Well, they haven't sent me a dime, so
Exactly.
I'll just go, you owe me. Yeah, you're right. I should do a print on demand version and put it on Amazon or something.
Yeah. Do that.
Yeah.
Because that's a shame to have it. Because I'm going to do that because I put the time in. It should at least be on Amazon as well. Now I do have a PDF, and I'll put the link. I'll make that one of the.
Oh, put the link. I need to buy it.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't got it. Oh, are you going to do it print on demand?
I may do it print on demand as well. That'll take a while. I'll have to do it all pasted up and all that, and create the PDF for it. And it seems like I always go through a million failures before I finally get that thing to actually go through.
It's like me lettering. Every time I letter a comic, I have to remember, like, how do I do that? What size is everything? I got to find like something I did last time. I mean,
Yeah. I'll have to dig out the templates again and all that for the PDF, and then when I actually try to publish it, it'll be like tell me all these flaws with it. You get put in this environment where it tells you, let's review this before we go any farther, and then it's like, well, this won't do. You need to correct all these things. It's like, wait a minute.
Like formatting stuff.
Yeah, all the formatting. And it's like, come on, man, I did it just the way you said to do it. I think that's unanimous with everybody that does KDP.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the movie Clue? I've got that waiting for me at the library. I gotta go pick it
Oh
up
gosh,
tomorrow.
years ago.
Well, Martin Mull died, and so that made me think of it. And it's like, I think I'll watch that. I've never seen it. It's got people I think are funny in it, so should be.
Yeah, I watched while I was on vacation. I watched all three of the latest X-Men movies,
Oh
That
my
was,
gosh.
yeah, I'm a masochist.
Oh,
Uh, yeah.
I
What
guess
else did I watch?
you're
Oh,
ready for the
tonight.
Deadpool.
Yeah, well, no, I haven't watched any of the Deadpool movies.
Okay. But yeah.
I checked out the latest Ghostbusters. I when I was in, so my brother's birthday was the week before we left town, and I went to Walmart. And I was gonna get him a card. And I was just gonna get him an Amazon thing. Well, my brother's like, we don't get each other presents,
Mm-hmm.
so I always gets annoyed if I buy him something. But
Mm-hmm.
I always, but I like to give him something that I know he'll appreciate, not just like here's $20.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
And so I went to Walmart, and in the like where the DVDs are, they got an area that's got like pop culture stuff,
Uh-huh.
and there was a boxed T-shirt of Ghostbusters, and it was from the new movie, so has the symbol on it, but it looks like it's iced over,
Uh-huh.
and so I got that, and my brother, and I know what it looked like because it's in a box. My brother raved about it. Well, we have a history because years ago, me and my brother and David Nelson, our friend DL,
Uh-huh.
and another friend of ours who's since passed away named Kevin, we went with the church to Tulsa. We're just like, hey, we're gonna go to, like during the summer, we're gonna go the church. We're gonna take the church van, and a bunch of the kids are gonna go to Tulsa, and we're gonna go to the mall and hang out and have a good time, then come back. Well,
Mm-hmm.
while we were up there, we ate at Crystal's Pizza, and it was a strip mall. Couple doors down, there was a remember the old T-shirt places that you would go in, and on the wall they'd have all the iron-ons, and they'd make
Yeah.
a T-shirt. We
Make
went
a
in
T-shirt.
there, yeah, and all Ghostbusters had just come out. We'd seen it, we liked it, and all four of us got Ghostbusters shirt.
Huh.
And so, I told my wife, I go, my brother and I have bought each other more Ghostbusters shirts, and when I gave it to him, he was wearing one. So anyway, So-
That's funny.
so that put me in a Ghostbusters mood. So, and I saw a nice shirt, so I bought me one, and I also got not the latest, but the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie from the library the other night. So I may watch that tonight.
Huh.
I'm not working tomorrow, so.
Yep, I've got that is really cool that that kind of legacy effect is in place
Yeah.
for you and Ghostbusters with that.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
and-
I'm not one of those guys. Ghostbusters is one of those things where some people, that's practically their Citizen Kane as far as they're concerned. They think
Yeah,
that's
well,
the best movie on it's ever
I'm not
been
gonna
made.
I'm not gonna say that, but but I think it's a funny movie.
It is a funny movie. Yeah.
And it has a lot of
Very
again,
memorable set pieces. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch Ghostbusters Afterlife probably tonight, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to work tomorrow. I gotta go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And I gotta be there at 11. I thought I was gonna go to work, and I thought, well, I can take shorter lunches and work 40 and just say I'm taking off and then not burn any time, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I can watch Ghostbusters tonight, maybe, or part of it. I want to be well rested for the doctors because he's going to check me out.
I haven't, I told you about this Peaky Blinders that I'm just getting into in terms of like probably going to be binging a few. They only have 6 episodes per season, so it's only going to be a total of 36 I have to watch for the whole thing. But the name Peaky Blinders, I've got a feeling it relates to the fact these guys have razor blades in their little cabbie caps, those floppy old cabbie caps. And that was apparently part of I guess probably a gang thing that they'd put razor blades in their caps, and then they'd swat you with those things. And of course, maybe that's what the blinder is.
Maybe it'll blind you if it hits you in the eye.
Yeah, their little peak. They're calling it their peaky. and they're blinders. And they'll swat you right across the eye and deflate that orb.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty nasty to think about.
Yeah.
They show a segment that what got me started on it was that they show Tom Hardy is on it, and his little bit, he plays, of all things, a Jewish gangster that is absolutely, he's not, you don't even think of him as being Jewish at all. He's just another gangster. But he's got, he looks like a rabbi. So he's in there just talking all tough and nasty and carelessly, and it's just pure Tom Hardy. And I said, "Oh, I got to see this. This character's too good." And he's doing stuff like arranging fights. Like like in Snatch.
Yeah.
They've got one guy. They just call him Goliath. Basically, they pull him out of the cab, and he's just this towering character, and he's who they're setting up the fight with.
Gotcha.
They've also got some. Do you know anything about the history when you hear Flanders Field and the?
Nope.
I don't know anything either, but apparently there's this real strong linkage with all these characters of fighting with the French of all things.
What?
And
Okay.
Flanders Field, yeah, all these British people went and fought for the French, and I'm wondering, is this like versus the fascists? What time period is this damn show anyway? I'm thinking it's like Gangs of New York. Maybe it's much more recent than that.
Could be.
Much more like ready to go to war and
The 30s or something.
yeah, something like that.
Are there cars?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it could be then. I mean.
Yeah. Come think about it. I should be able to set the time pretty well. Yeah, but the cars are very much like obviously brand new. Model T era kind of thing. So yeah.
So it could
Okay,
be
yeah,
the-
you're right. I should just have the time totally set in my mind by what I've been shown. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm
do you
like
want-
Joe
do-
Biden.
Do you want a list? Do you want a list?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's things wrong with me. That's for sure. My tooth included.
Yeah.
Take care of that.
Ready to.
Hey Scott, we're at
Yes.
an hour.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we told enough Arkansas stories, to be honest with you, but
Well, I was in and out in a flash, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell 2 Arkansas stories.
okay.
So one, I got a brand new car. Well, my brother-in-law had to go to Walmart, and so I said, "Well, I'll go to Walmart with you." And we were taking a bunch of people, or several people, 4 or 5 people. So he said, "Well, let's take somebody else's car." So we took somebody's SUV, and I left my car in the street in front of my in-laws' house. I didn't think anything of it. Well, my wife calls me and she goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know I moved your car." And I go, "Well," and they live on a narrow street. It's in Bella Vista. It's up this windy road. It's in a cul-de-sac. I said, "Why'd you move?" I said, "Okay, why?" And she goes, "Well, the neighbors went out and they were shooting off fireworks right next to your car."
Oh boy, yeah.
And I go, "Great." I said, "Well, thanks for." She goes, "Yeah, I talked to them, and she said they were cool, but I told them, hey, I'm gonna move my husband's car. He just, something happens to his car, he's gonna be pissed."
Yeah.
And so I did that, or she did that. So the neighbors were shooting off fireworks like all evening. God knows how much they shot off. So Michelle and I stayed at a hotel because Michelle's parents, her whole family was staying at their parents' house, basically. So we were staying at a hotel. So we left to go to the hotel, and it was a hotel, and we get there, and it's raining, so we don't think a lot of it. Oh, and it's full. There's a sign in the door, like a handwritten sign taped to the door, says "No vacancy." So we're asleep, and like at 3 in the morning, the rain stops. All of a sudden, people are shooting off fireworks in the parking lot of the hotel, and I'm like,
Oh,
"Good
man.
grief, man!" It woke us up. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I tell you, there is a difference between people that, and it's also an aged demarcation. You just aren't as big an ass when you hit 30, basically.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you learn that there are other people in the world besides you.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
You know, and I've never really been a big firework guy, but
Yeah.
I mean, honestly I could care less, and I certainly would not spend my money on them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
boy, some people,
That's the only thing that I think held it down pretty good lately. People don't have any money right now. It's
yeah,
like, well, let's go spend $100 on fireworks.
yeah,
What do you mean? That'll just get us a pack of black cats.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh man, these have gone
Well,
up, haven't they?
and my brother-in-law's kids, they were getting some fireworks, and so of course I'm like, did you get any M80s? No.
They
Did you
don't
get?
sell those.
They don't. Yeah, they're like, I don't. They don't know what that is. I go, it's a
half a stick of dynamite, yeah, or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
I think a cherry bomb is half a stick. I think a M80 is like a quarter of cherry bomb or something like
Okay.
that. We used to blow the crap out of stuff with M80s when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
And but then I said, did you get any black cats? And they're like, we don't know what that is.
Oh, how about
So yeah, it's like, well, okay, what'd you get?
Nothing.
We got sparklers or we got fountains.
You know what? Yeah, that's another thing. It was just a waste of time to get mad at these kids because that's what they had. They didn't have anything truly explosive. The only thing you can get, is obviously the little mortars that they
Yeah.
sell, but and those are very annoying.
The Roman-
When those get a little height. No, I'm
Oh.
talking about those real mortars.
Oh, the
They-
rocket,
they
the
really
rockets.
blow up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's what they were shooting off in our neighborhood the
Yeah.
night the house caught fire.
Yeah. Exactly.
And dude, it was like 2 houses south of us. It was crazy. It was really close. I went out in the front yard and was like, the wind is coming this way. I said, they're going to burn the neighborhood down.
Yep.
Thank God
Oh,
they
yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
t-
what
I-
happens in California is that Santa Ana wind comes.
Yeah.
It's like, ordinarily things can burn and just burn themselves, but that wind comes along, it blowtorches. It just goes
Yep.
like a living thing, like lava.
Yep.
Well, okay, Scott, I guess that's enough Arkansas stories. We can
Okay.
call it a night.
Okay.
Even though I didn't tell one, I could have. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.